Hello everybody. Hello roomies. Hi Hash, how you doing? Hello. Okay, really quick, today's gonna be a two-parter stream. It's not a huge build, but I will be assembling a QK board afterwards. But first is the Aespa? Aespa inspired 60% called, well, I guess it's named after one of the members. But yeah, it's an Aespa themed board. I think there's been one other one from Kibu. I think they've done a few actually, maybe. I think the other one's a TKL. It's pronounced Aespa. I just told Aespa. Okay, one of the two pronunciations. And this one's inspired by one of their members. Her name is Ningning. So we're going to be assembling her inspired keyboard, I suppose. Now this board here is from Kibu. It comes with a hardshell case. They did send this out for me to build. This is a sponsored stream because of that. The pricing in US dollars, although this is subject to change based off of the conversion, is around $400 to $410. I would say this is on the upper echelon of price points. It's an aluminum case coming in either win keyless, or 7U HHKB. It has a sandblasted brass bottom, which we'll see. It's also mounted with silicone gaskets. And then it has an aluminum plate by default, as well as a 9-degree tapping angle and a 15.88 front height. Pretty crazy. But then again, I feel like a lot of the boards that Kibu vendors have insanely low front heights. I think there were some really pretty colors with this too. That's a nice front height. Yeah, I agree. Let's see, actually, what colors did they have listed? Silver, coffee, gray, and purple. And this is the coffee color. I really hope this isn't super stiff because this could be a really cool pickup for those who just like 60s. Oh shit, this is really nice. Actually, this looks way nicer in person. Holy crap. So right away, I can tell you I love one aspect of this board. It depends. I feel like the board has to be the right board for it, but the really thin side bezels, like I would say this is particularly a little bit thinner than normal, which is really cool. The stepped internals look dope. I just want to say this is a really nice touch. I don't know who gives a shit about this, but they put stickers over the screws, and this is from the factory, but they have these like little pull tab stickers. I hope this becomes more of like a common thing, actually. And then we have the side profile, which is, I would say, this kind of leans into the basic box on wedge, but because it has this giant taper over here, you can definitely see that from the side. I would say this is a rather classy side profile. And then we have, actually, $400 for this kind of makes sense now. This isn't super crazy easy to machine over here. And then we have what looks like, is this the stainless weight? Let me just triple check. So bottom, and then we have a back weight. Oh, so this is just aluminum, but this is a giant piece of brass. So this is going to be a huge piece of brass there. So I guess if this was anything else, this might have raised the price a bit. I will say the only thing I wish they did a little different here, and maybe it's just this particular colorway, I kind of wish this was a more neutral, like, maybe not neutral, warmer color rather. I feel like the silver plus the brass plus the coffee top kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I guess I don't mind it on the back like this, but not like huge on the silver bottom. I think they could have maybe made this a bit warmer, but there are other colors that I think suit this better. Kibu always hits with 60s. I mean, Kibu's releases have been like traditionally, other than one or two releases, really good. The only release I would say Kibu kind of like, it's not even their release, they're just vendoring it, but their choice to run the Haven, I believe, was kind of like, I wasn't thrilled with the Haven. This though, I can tell you this is more in line with what they normally do. All right, so we have our gaskets. This is the foot, leave this in here. And then actually 2 sets of gaskets. So I'm guessing different durometers here. We have our plate. So this comes default with an aluminum plate. And then we have our solder PCB. Okay. Right away, the tabs on the plate look very promising. Silicone mounts can sometimes feel a bit dead or hard. But I can tell you right now, this is done in almost like a leaf spring configuration. So basically it would allow just the top piece over here to kind of flex out because of its extra cut in the middle. This might be really nice. I think this is obviously going to be pretty limited for the spacebar options, but let's see what else we get here. All right, other than spacebar, we get a lot of options. Pogo pin connector is an interesting touch here. But yeah, lots of options. So split backspace, split right. No ISO, which is a bit of a bummer, but I don't know how many people are going to be building this in ISO. Would be cool to see. And then we have stepped and regular caps lock as well. And then today I'm going to use a switch that I've never used before. First time ever. Gatoron, I lost the label, but I think they were called Milky Yellows. All right, let me quickly get some stabs. Also, if I don't do, actually I feel like it'll look better. I'm going to do split on this one here. We'll just do split. I agree with all your choices except I'd use the Keycaps caps. I really like their sound signature. Hey, yeah, preference. At the end of the day, this hobby is literally founded on preference. You can like something different, and I feel like that's the most important part about doing keyboards. You can all like different things. I only lube the inserts now with stabs. I'm only having an issue with using too much lube. Yes, it is a very real thing, despite what people think, of over lubing stabilizers. To go over this, over lubing stabs can cause. So when you have a stabilizer, right? You pop it in. You run the risk if you over lube on getting lubricant that slowly settles to the bottom of this piece right here. So when lube settles here, it will pool on the bottom of the PCB, right? So it'll pool here, somewhere wherever this is. But yeah, so when you over lube the bottoms, it can create now a suction effect, which I've brought up in the past. So what happens now is because, and the best way to explain this is with a piece of tape. Hold on. But if I were to use a piece of sticky tape, which is essentially what happens, it's the same idea of when you over lube something and it settles on the bottom, this is what happens. Now, a lot of people think that's stabilizer rattle. Instead of using just like, again, if I just use the stab here, for example, but this would sound more like a rattle, right? And that's just me pressing the tape very lightly. And that's what happens when you over lube something. The lube sticks to the bottom, and as you pull the stab up, it separates, creating this like suction sticky effect. Unless you're using something, I mean, and this is not even a guarantee because I've seen this happen with thicker lubricants. Even BDZ or anything thicker than that, if you apply too much, you're still going to have some settling of lubricant, and it will still end up sounding like that. So this is why I always say just do a little bit of lubricant and then just syringe in some more afterwards. What strange things we do for this hobby? Yeah, definitely some weird things we do sometimes. What this is HHKB. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one. Alex, are we ever gonna have that Cobbleverse server revived? I feel like there wasn't a lot of interest in the Cobbleverse server or even just the Minecraft server in general. And it was, I don't know if you know, but it was really expensive. And I would love to keep doing that for you guys. But there were also a lot of issues with running Cobbleverse. Like, it caused a lot of crashes. And it was getting a little bit expensive. Okay, gaskets. So, I'm guessing the black ones are a little bit harder and these are a bit softer. All right, well, that's cool. Actually, I really like the way that internal system works. So now this is perfectly aligned and this won't shift around because it's causing this to be put in place. So it doesn't need an alignment system and it's sitting on the gasket. And then we do the same to the top, I guess. But then we got to do the opposite way, right? This is the only part that becomes a little confusing. Wow, a keyboard with a novel take on mounting. Yeah, I mean, I still think this is probably going to feel and sound like silicone gasket, but it's a cool approach to doing it, and then also a cool approach to the alignment system. What keycaps do I put on this? Yeah, full copper or full brass bottom rather is, I think, a really cool way to justify the price here. How about GMK Copper? Dude, this looks sick. All right, I'm vibing. Again, the only thing I don't like visually on the brown unit is the silver accent on the bottom. That's it. Very pretty. A lot of nice curves on this board too. Like even some subtle stuff, like in case you guys didn't see it on when I was flipping it around. There's this part, the curve here. Again, I think this is all machining that just adds prices to like the keyboard here. Like even the way this is cut into the case, very, very pretty. Side profile one more time. That looks really good. Then we have the front where the weight kind of lifts up a little bit. And you can even see there's like a little section that's kind of cut out here too. Gives it a bit more character. The anno looks top notch, by the way. Absolutely top notch. 15.8 mil front height with a 9-degree typing angle. Was it 9 degree or was it 8 degree? Let me triple check here. Let me be certain. Damn, the server is full already for the Minecraft stuff. That's crazy. It's a 9 degree. All right. I also like the fact this had a pogo pin connector in the inside. That was pretty cool too. All right. Tonality is completely here. It doesn't even feel like a 9-degree type angle. That's the crazy thing. It almost feels like a 7-degree. The only thing I will say is I think the brass bottom makes the sound of the alphas a little bit less like, they don't shine as much, I suppose. That I think I've come to terms though, like with even the Neo boards that do the CU bottoms. That's just a thing with heavier, dense bottoms. I think the insides though, the internal ridges are the saving grace for making this sound a bit more lively than it probably would have if it's just brass. The silicone gaskets, I think, were implemented extremely well in this board. I don't really have much to go off for criticism here. I think they did a really good job overall. I would say the $400 price tag, well, like for 410, let's just call it. It is premium, but I think it is fair-ish, I'd say, for the brass bottom. Like considering this is a huge chunk of brass, the machining seems top-notch and the anno looks great. So 410, not bad for a 60%. On Discord, they said it will come with hot swap, apparently. Oh, they're changing this? But it says solder on the website. I'm not sure then. They would have to let you know then. Read. I really like this. It turned out great. Cool. I mean, I like the coffee a lot. I wish this was interchangeable for color, because coffee would be like an instant pickup, but... All right, though, guys. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody, and have a good sleep. Later.